Hello, welcome to the Strategic Pause. I'm Jill Parish, and this is my partner, Katrina Kennedy. We are actually live with multiple episodes now, so we're super excited about that. So we've had some good feedback from all of you who have been listening, and we appreciate that. And it's really fun to see you all interact with our inner workings, which is sometimes kind of scary that you all can see what's happening inside our brains or listen to it. So, today we are going to talk about networking and conferences and our approach to both of them. And Katrina, you are leaving in just a day or two for a conference. Do you want to kick us off today?
Absolutely, absolutely. I am headed to the Iowa Professional Development Day conference just outside of Des Moines. And I actually just got back from Training
Oh, that's
Magazine's
right.
conference in Orlando. Yeah, so it
Yes.
is definitely conference season in my world, and I'm excited for them. Different size groups, different geographic areas,
Mhm.
and both new conferences for me, so
Oh,
kind of
okay. That's
exciting.
fun.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how did you engage with these conferences?
So the first conference, the Training Magazine conference, was a proposal that I submitted, which is probably about 50% of the conferences I go to are through proposals. And they were delightful, though. So they selected my proposal and then they asked me to do more, which I always love. Like, if you're going to fly across country, I-
Yes.
I'd love to be able to do more than an hour's worth of work. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so they do a test kitchen idea where they show an innovative idea in the expo. So it's, kind of got that crowded noise of the expo.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but it was tucked in a corner, so it wasn't so loud, and was super fun. Super fun. I did a little instructional origami for their test kitchen. And then
Wait, hold on. What's
the
a test kitchen? What does that mean?
it's just a play on words. They have like chefs' aprons and hats and like, let's cook up
Oh,
some innovation. So
okay. So, like at the state
yeah.
fairs where the guys are selling the knives, is it like that kind of playing on like
Yeah,
that kind of
exactly.
thing?
Yeah,
Okay,
kind of.
okay.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
have like a did you have a countertop that you were working from?
There was like a little one. It was kind of
Okay.
behind me, but everybody's sitting at like round tables and there were high top
Okay.
tables. So kind of
That's
fun.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Had
really
you
fun,
ever
really
done a
creative.
test kitchen before?
I had not. I had not.
Oh, so it was a
Yeah.
first.
So very
Okay.
different. Yeah, very much a first. I'm used to the kind of conference presentation where you go find your room
Yeah.
and you hope people show up, and it may
Yep.
be, the room may be cavernous and dark, or it may be
Yep.
like tiny and theater style. Like you kind of get
Yep.
what you get.
Mhm.
So it was a fun spin on conferences.
Yeah, that is fun. Okay, and
Yeah.
then what is your Iowa conference? Which conference? What's happening there?
So that is a ATD, Association of Talent Development chapter conference, and they call it the Professional Development Day. And so I'm doing two things there because, again, like, if you're going to have me at your conference,
Yeah.
use me.
Yeah.
They reached out to me, and which is always nice. And
Yeah.
unlike many conferences, it is actually, I'm just gonna say this, it is a paid gig.
Ooh, I
So
love it. Don't be
yeah,
afraid. Say it out loud. I
yeah,
love it.
absolutely. Because so many conferences, like, I don't know that everyone understands that for a lot of professional conferences, you are giving your time and
Yeah.
money, and you're paying your travel expenses, you're paying your hotel expenses. Like, you're covering all the cost to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Um, and so the Iowa Professional Development Day, they are covering my expenses and paying me
I
for their
love it.
closing keynote, which is super exciting. It's a keynote that I've been working on over the last year, And it's all about taking everything that you learn during the conference and putting it in, reflecting on it, of course,
Oh, of course, obviously, yeah.
and then putting it into a manageable commitment that you then get nudged and coached by me for 28
Ooh,
days after the conference. Yeah.
what a
Yeah. So,
great idea. Because, I've heard a rumor, unfounded, that some people go to conferences and then don't do anything with the information that they hear at the conferences. So it's an unfounded rumor, totally fake, I'm sure. But what a great way to help people not have that experience.
exactly, exactly. I think that I've heard the rumor too.
Okay, okay, so it's out there.
And it's out there, and it's a
Mhm.
rumor, and it's because we get so much great information
Mhm.
during a conference. I think people can sometimes be overwhelmed,
Yeah,
and so where do you even begin? So this helps people to really consolidate what they've been exposed to, and then really follow up so that the investment of time and money is worthwhile.
I love it. I had one time I was talking to a client. This was just an offhand conversation. It was not actually about like real work. And her role, she works for an office of education and she goes to a lot of conferences. And she was telling me that sometimes when she goes to a session and she feels like there's really juicy, rich things that she can do with that information, then she will, instead of going to the next session, she'll go back to her hotel room and she'll like spend the next hour or two planning on how she can use that. And that was almost like a mind blown for me, because as a rule follower, I would never do that. Like I would never do that. But I can see how she probably gets so much more out of that than me, who is very much like, okay, I'm supposed to be there at 8:15 and then 9:15 and then 10, right? And so I thought that
Right.
was an interesting approach, and I'm sure she gets more out of the conference because she takes that time.
Absolutely, absolutely. My friend, Lauren Waldman, who bills herself as the learning pirate, um, who
Is
does
is there a whole theme like I'm in my head? Is that yes.
absolutely whole
Okay.
theme,
Okay, I'm gonna have
y-
to go find her. Yeah.
absolutely. So she is all about what our brains can take in, and
Mm,
her whole pirate mission is to make people aware of the neuroscience of learning. And conferences are actually really antithetical to how
right.
we learn.
Right.
So, but we love to get together, right? Like
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
come
yeah.
together and there's energy and excitement in that.
Yeah.
So taking that step away is, I think, really healthy, and really you will remember more.
Mhm.
Uh, the last couple of years have been my years of conferences,
Mhm.
coinciding with my book launch, and just kind of moving how I'm doing business. And I have started skipping things.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
and we started this podcast talking about networking and conferences because the two go together so
Right.
nicely. And so what I often do, it's kind of harkens back to college parties.
Yeesh. Please do
I
connect the two for us all. We are all waiting. Okay, go.
I sit in a hallway in a strategic spot, usually by the restroom.
Okay. Okay.
I'm like, okay, not like in a gross way. I know I said that out, like when you like think about like I'm sitting by the restroom, like not right outside it, but like, the general path.
Okay. I'm not even gonna touch this. I'm just gonna let you go. So go ahead, carry on.
Yeah, don't touch anything in the bathroom. Um and and then I just sit, and now I'm not taking more information in. So I like, it's a little more relaxing, a little quieter, and then let people come to me.
Mm,
And because it's on the path somewhere,
yeah.
I end up talking to a lot of people, both people I know and I don't know. And that becomes one of my favorite conference experiences. Those side conversations
Yeah.
that just occur, that just kind of naturally occur as I'm skipping out on sessions.
It's so interesting because as I mentioned, I'm a rule follower. I am a rule follower. And so it is almost painful for me to be like, I'm not going to go to this next session. Like, there is something physically uncomfortable about that for me. And I will say, my whole career, I've essentially planned events and similar conferences. And so I always have this lens of like, I want to honor the time that the conference planner has put into this. But I get it in the sense of like, if you're going to 6 breakouts and they're all have different topics, you're really probably not walking away with much unless you're super, super intentional about that.
Right. And there's also just like a physical and cognitive exhaustion limit that we hit
Yeah.
that that I feel like I've gotten better at balancing because especially like this week, I just got back from a conference. I'm going
Mhm.
to head out to another conference, and in between that I'm doing client work. Like
Right,
if
right.
I'm physically exhausted and
Yeah.
mentally exhausted, I can't be present for the work that I need to do. So I used to be early on in my conference going very much like you, like scheduled out. Now I don't
Mhm.
even look at the schedule sometimes until like the
What?
day. I know.
Oh
Like, who
my
am
god. I'm
I?
breaking out in hives just sitting here. So you will just go and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, and I think part of it is that my conference experience has really changed. That I'm often going to the sessions of friends now
Mm.
at
Yeah.
conferences, so to support them. Or, I'm preparing for my own thing, so a little time away is necessary to be ready. And the conference, the training magazine conference that I just went to, that I will be going to again in 2027. It was so good.
Okay, I'm gonna come
Um,
with you in
Okay,
2027.
like,
Okay.
let's count on it.
Okay.
It's at Disney World. The location is
Oh, it's
perfect. Yeah.
always there. It's always at Disney World? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay.
Um, so one of the things they did this year was called a brain date, and they were wildly popular. It was essentially an app that anyone could schedule a a brain date with, which was a session of 4 to 5, I believe, people that got together in the brain date lounge to talk about anything they wanted to. So, like, you could get on the app and say, "I wanna talk about chocolate ice cream at 2 o'clock today."
Oh, okay, and then
And
people could opt
people
into that?
that people could opt into that, and then
Oh,
they
I
met at
do
that
like that.
location, and it was so cool to see this other kind of unconferencey conference thing
Yes.
happening during the conference. And people
Yeah.
then really getting smaller conversations, very focused conversations about topics that were of interest to them.
I really like that, almost like a meetup. You know that meetup app that, like, if
Ex
you wanna play volleyball? It's that idea, but for that conference, that's actually brilliant.
I thought so too. I thought so
Yeah.
too. And Braindate is actually a company that provided it. So they did all the organization, and
Okay.
they had like an initial Braindate session before the conference really started,
Okay.
um, which was just a really cool way to meet people like just like meet people in a more genuine way. As a
Yes.
presenter, I can meet people in my workshop and
Mhm.
then be and like after, but there's 150 people in the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't, you don't get that depth that you get with a small discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that. And I feel like that brings us back to what we were actually going to talk about, which was networking um,
Yes.
at these conferences, because I'm always super cognizant that I don't want people to think I'm selling them things when I'm going to the conference. Like, that's That is
Right.
not why I'm talking to people. When I talk to people, it's because I genuinely wanna know what's in their brain, or I wanna meet them, or I just think they're interesting. And I love
Mhm.
that because it takes that away a little bit. Like, "Hey, we're all gonna agree we're gonna talk on this, and why would you come if you weren't wanting to talk about that thing?"
Right, right, exactly, exactly, and, networking can be really weird at conferences.
Mhm.
I've gone to dinners, like, arranged, like, meet up for dinner thing, and then realized it was a total sales pitch by someone who I was
Yes.
uncomfortable sitting at the table with.
Yes.
But then I've also done those that were just, like, you know, participants that got together, and we had a really
Mhm.
nice time, and everybody had someone to have dinner with. So they can go they can go lots of different directions.
Yeah. Yeah. When I go to the Sacramento Metro Chamber events sometimes, and they have this one event called the Study Mission, which is essentially a group of Sacramentans go to some particular like city pre-identified. And as part of this, and so it's a little bit learning about the city, it's a little bit networking, it's a little bit conferencey, it's kind of all the things. I'm a big fan. But my favorite part of that event is the first night they you go to an assigned dinner, and they divide the group into small groups, and there's one table host, and that person is responsible for making sure everybody knows kind of where to go, and they give you like chat topics, sort of, just in case the conversation's not flowing, and they try to do it in a way that's like not people from the same organization, and they're groups of 10, and so you end up at a dinner table with 9 people you don't know, or you don't know very well, or you've seen their name somewhere, and there's no like underlying secret, thing you're supposed to do. It's just to get to know these people. And I love it because it takes the pressure off, right? There's no pressure to find out,
Right.
like, who am I going to go to dinner with tonight? Or am I like, the decision's made for you? And you're all in this same sort of position together. Nobody's 1,000% comfortable in that position. So you're kind of all experiencing the same thing, and I've really gotten to know some people that way. So this is I'm relating this back to this brain date thing, which now I'm kind of fascinated by.
Yeah, and I think they both have two really common threads, that it's a limited number of people
Mhm.
and a specific time and specific talking points,
Yeah.
or a specific subject anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that those kind of parameters make for the perfect gathering.
Yeah.
And you all know why you're there. I had a really interesting thing happen while I was in Orlando, and I'm gonna seek this out from now on. On one of the nights, a friend of mine and I had decided we were gonna plan a dinner, and she
Okay.
was gonna bring 2 people, and I was
Okay.
gonna bring 2 people. I didn't know her 2, and she didn't know my 2.
Okay.
And so what is that? I can do the math, like 6 people,
I
right? So
think
just
it's
6
6. Yeah.
people,
Okay.
right.
6 people.
So
Yeah.
so just 6 people, and, we made a reservation, and I didn't plan this, but I'm going to from now on. The table was round,
Oh, yes.
and it was 6 of us. We had, there were connections
Yeah.
just built in,
Right,
but
right.
it ended up just being this lively, comfortable conversation around this round table. And then the next night, I got invited to a dinner with another group, and again, it was 6 people. That was not planned, it just kind of
Right, just
worked out
happened.
that way. Yeah, and again, a round table.
Oh, which is, I feel like, not that common, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I am now making reservations for dinner. I'm gonna do the same kind of, invited smaller, 6 people person dinner, but I'm gonna find the round tables because it made such a
Yeah.
difference.
Makes
I feel
such
like
a
I've
difference.
been at dinners, at conference dinners, where kind of everybody gets invited, and you end up at this really long table, and you
Yep.
you end up talking to, like, the 3 people
Yep.
around you,
Yep,
and that can be
exactly.
really delightful. It can also be really
Mhm.
weird
Yeah.
because, like,
Yeah.
we're having this conversation and they're having that conversation, like, it's all it feels disjointed to me. So 6
Yes.
people, round tables. There's my networking
I
advice.
love that. And I'm just thinking of that scenario. I have includer it high in my Clifton strengths. Includer is big for me. I'm always trying to like include people. Sometimes it's not appropriate, but anyways. And so at those long tables, I feel so uncomfortable because by default, you are leaving somebody out. And so I spend most of the time trying to like turn my head and make sure you feel, even though, they're probably not paying attention at all, but it feels very uncomfortable in the sense of like, I don't want this person to feel left out and I want to give my attention to this person. So
Yep.
the round
And
tables.
and you and I have 2 things in common here. We have
Oh,
we have mom ears, right? And facilitator ears.
yes.
So you hear everything,
Yes.
and it's
that is
really hard.
I never thought about that. Yes. I hear every conversation happening, and it's so hard to stay focused in
Yeah,
on whoever it is you're talking about. Mom ears
yeah,
and facilitator ears. Katrina, this could be a whole
yeah.
nother episode.
Yeah, I think we could call them mirrors.
I love it. That's our word.
There we go.
I was actually going to I was going to do a word request again because I want to create another word for networking. I have people tell me all the
Mm,
time they hate networking. And so I don't know why I end up spending a decent amount of my time trying to reframe networking for people. But I just really think it needs a new life. It just needs,
right.
so maybe
I
you could think about that.
Yeah, I don't want to network. Networking feels gross. I want to
Right.
connect.
Yeah. Yes.
And the long
Yes.
table, that's networking.
That's networking.
Round
Yes.
table, that's
Small
connecting.
group, that's connecting. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think, people that don't like networking, I'm guessing it's because when they picture networking, they picture the loud, banquet room and you can barely hear the person in front of you. And there's 3 people over here. And you see this person out of the corner of your eye and you think you should probably go say hi to that person, but you're still in front of here, this person. And that is exhausting. I mean,
right.
and I consider myself an extrovert. I love people, I get energized by people, and it exhausts me. So I can only imagine for people who would identify as introverts how triply exhausting that must be.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to say this.
Okay. I feel like I should get in close here.
Yeah, get in closer.
Okay.
I'm taking a deep breath
Okay.
because I am really very, very tired of being at events called networking events where all I am doing is listening to someone go on and on and
Oh,
on about themselves. Ask
yes.
a damn question.
I love when you say cuss words.
Oh, if you
Yes.
only knew. I have the Katrina
Yes.
persona. Ask my son.
I totally agree. And I mean, the phones are not doing us any help in this because there are a lot of people who go into those rooms and that's all they do is they spout out everything that they do and how amazing they are and how what they have you definitely want. And so maybe we just need to redefine networking because in my opinion that's not networking, that's like pontificating or something.
Right.
um yeah, I
Monologuing.
totally agree. Monologuing, soloing, right? Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
all of those things. Yeah.
Uh,
But when you go to an event like that and you can actually connect with 1 or 2 people and you can laugh with them and find something in common with them, that energizes, right? That energizes.
Absolutely. When you've really connected, when I can say like, "Oh, Jill, you have 3 boys and you bought out your partners for Think Dev and this is what you're doing and and now I know you
Yeah.
or at
Yeah.
least like what you want to reveal and 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 then maybe I I understand from a business perspective what you might actually need.
Right.
Rather and then maybe we can have that conversation. I think too many people, like, start with the, like, "Here's what I've got
Right.
to offer you,"
Yes.
like, and
Yes.
you don't know me.
No, no, you don't know me, right? Let's just talk.
Right.
Who are you? What's it? What is your name even, right? Like, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And there's a big
Yeah.
difference between people. You can see them a mile away, right? Who are coming to talk to you for a reason versus like, I just want to get to know other people.
Right.
Do you have a lead off question? Like if you're meeting someone for the first time, like do you have a question that you feel like gets good responses?
Yeah, I think I have a couple of questions that could get good responses. I like to ask, like, what project are you working on right
Mhm.
now that's
Mhm.
exciting you? You know, um, I love, 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 like, when people come into my room for a workshop because, you've got that awkward time. So this is related, but not exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I will just say, like, what prompted you to come into this room
Mm.
right
Yeah.
now? And now
Yeah.
they've given me something. They've told
Right.
me something, and they usually
That's a
tell
good
me a
one.
lot.
Mhm.
Um, and then, just like around the conference, I might say, like, "What have you enjoyed so far?" And that gives me a little tidbit into who they are. And then I think just listening, and people will tell you what they
Mhm.
want to talk about.
Yeah. 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 I love that. What prompted you to come in here? That's a good one. I'm speaking at a conference next week. I'm gonna have to use that one because that is like that's also new information,
Mhm.
and it's a get to know you a little bit too, right?
Absolutely. And then when you're in, and now I'm giving away secrets. Ugh.
Yes. Give
Um,
all the secrets away, please. Thank you. I'm gonna need these. Hold on, let me write these down.
So when you're in that session next week and you've said what prompted you to be here and people have told you, and it often sounds like, I work for the VA and we're doing this, or I
Uh-huh.
work in mental health and we're doing this. So then
Right.
in like the bulk of your workshop, you can say, for those of you who work in mental health, this is how it's going to
Right.
work for you. Or
Yeah.
those of you who, are serving us, this is how I've seen it work. And so now we're grabbing attention, we're showing that we've actually heard what they've said, and we're creating a deeper connection because it's about connection. It's not about networking. It's about connection.
You're a genius. This is why people ask you to come to the conference. You've got it all figured out. That's really brilliant. You managed to make it personable for them in this room of other people and you've never met them, and that goes a long way.
It just seems like the right thing to do, you know?
That too. Yeah. I mean
We
there's
just
there's that too.
Yeah, like, people wanna know they matter, and there's a whole
Yeah.
lot of feeling like we don't.
Yeah. In a lot of the rooms. And a lot of the rooms we go in, we don't matter necessarily. So you're
Right.
absolutely right. If you can make them feel like they matter in that room, and they do matter to you, right? You really do care. And I think they can see that as well. It's genuine. It's
Right.
not lip service from you.
Right, it's not schmoozy. I don't
It's
want it
not
to be.
it's not schmoozy. It's not schmoozy. I love when, you said people will tell you what they want to talk about. I love when there's somebody who's a little bit more introverted or just a little quieter and they don't open up as easily, and so but
Mhm.
you're talking and then all of a sudden you hit that thing that they love and you can just watch them kind of bloom. That to me is just the best, and you can see in real life like what excites them and what makes them tick. I think that's a
Yeah,
lot of fun. I
yeah.
remember I was back when I used to work with doctors, I had this one doctor that I couldn't quite connect with, and finally one day he mentioned he had his pilot's license, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool. Like, tell me about that. How'd you get started with that?" And if I had a camera and could, record his face before and his face after, it was like a different person. I mean, he just lit up. And from then on, that was the connection, and we were able to know each other on a little bit of a deeper level because of that. I think that's really
Yeah,
fun.
that is cool. That's amazing. And you did the thing that we all need to do, that you listened and you grabbed the opportunity and you made an absolutely real connection.
Yeah. And he's probably still out there excited to talk about his plane, though I haven't seen him in probably 10 years, but I hope it still lights him up
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and he's going to think about you and that's going to be a good feeling.
in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Did we
That's
actually
so
talk about
special.
networking or did we talk about conferences or a little of both, maybe?
I think it was a little of both. I think it was a
Okay.
little both. I think we often go down one path and
It's
and leave
true.
somewhere else, which is what happens in it when you're trying to connect with people at conferences,
It's
right?
so true. That is so true. By the way, I had somebody tell me that she's a friend of mine who listens to our podcast, and she said they were leaving for a trip, and she told her husband they needed to take a strategic pause before they walked out the door and make sure that they had gotten everything that they needed. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love that so much. So there you go. The strategic pause works in many different scenarios right before you leave for a trip.
I love it. That is
I love
beautiful.
it too.
That is beautiful. All right. Well, where are you what conference are you headed to next?
I am headed to Long Beach to do a talk on leading with influence for a Parks and Recreation Association. I'm partnering up with a friend at City of West Sacramento, and we're going together. So I have a buddy, which seems like it's just 10 times more fun. So we're
Absolutely.
doing that one next week, and then I've got a couple in May, and you have a couple. You have one after Iowa.
I do.
Yeah.
My next one is actually the biggest one of the year, ATD
Oh,
2026
that's
in Los
right.
Angeles, where I will be doing a session on reflection and signing books.
I'm shocked. Okay, we'll have to connect on that because I want to go to that one too.
Yeah.
All right, friend. Well, I feel like we networked, we conferenced, and we did all the things. And have the best of luck in Iowa at the end of this
Thank
week.
you. Awesome. I look forward to it. And you have fun in Long Beach.
All right. See you later.
Bye.